Hello everyone, this is Charlotte. This is a podcast where I talk about random topics while I drive to work, called Chatting in Cars. I swear a lot and I talk about sensitive topics, so if you don't want to hear that, then I suggest you turn off now because it's not going to get any better from here. It's definitely not going to get any cleaner. This is one of those very adult podcasts, so if you don't want to hear about, I don't know, like rape and stuff, you probably should turn it off. Topic for today is victim mentality, which I don't believe in. I don't like it, to be honest. I don't like the concept of it. It seems to be a cop-out from your survival mode. Most people have a strong sense of survival mode. You know, if you go near a lion, you're gonna, possibly get attacked. Maybe get you mauled a bit, Common sense would say don't stick your thumb up his ass. I mean, but at the same time, some people would do that and still claim to be the victim. It's like, you're not really a victim. You knew it was going to happen. Why would you fucking do it? I don't know about anyone else, but I wasn't raised to feel sorry for myself when shit goes wrong. My parents were very much in the case of harden the fuck up, you're on your own, figure it out. Which is annoying when you're 5, but at the same time, it's incredibly useful when you're older and you are on your own because you do. Come on, guy, figure it out. Fucking Land Cruisers. Oh, it's a hire car as well. Oh my god. We know you fucked your other car then. Idiots. But there's no good feeling sorry for yourself because it doesn't fix anything. I mean, you can take time to grieve, of course, if it's a truly horrible experience. Maybe your life was completely devastated, and I know what that feels like. If you listen to your past, I know what it is for your life to drop out the arse. You don't sit there and fucking wallow in it. Get up and get the fuck on with it. I find it stupid to be sitting there wasting time and effort when you could be fixing things rather than, and some people take a little bit longer to deal with their grief. I know that much. When I was grieving, I found it took a lot of time because it was always on and off. It wasn't one big span of just bed wallowing and eating ice cream. It was, you'd heal a bit and then you'd remember stuff and then you'd be like, oh fuck, and it cripples you. Sorry, text messages. But at the same time, you're like, there's no point sitting there playing the victim because all it does is trap you in a mindset where you feel like people are going to perpetually keep fucking you over, and that's not true. No one's here to perpetually fuck you over. Got better things to do, quite frankly. And it bugs the shit out of me because it feels like an extension of narcissism where people get attention through others, like garnering others to feel sorry for them. It's feel sorry for me so I feel slightly important or more important than anyone else, and I can get people gathering around me to condone my actions or enable my depression, or which can be in itself addicting, especially when you're getting reinforced by people who say, oh, you're the victim, it's okay. It's not that I haven't got pity or empathy or sympathy for them, but things need to be put in the right context. You don't just sit there and feel like shit for the entire lifetime. You've got to get up and fucking do something with it. I mean, the best thing you can do is transmute that into sort of rocket fuel and change stuff. I'm a firm believer in changing shit circumstances, because why sit and feel like shit for the entire day or week when you can just fix it and never feel like shit again about it, It bugs me. For example, when I got divorced and separated, I felt lost, definitely. I completely lost my self-worth and things like that, but here was an opportunity for me to rebuild and make what I wanted to be. I had the chance to actually have a say in what I wanted to be, what I wanted to do. I didn't have someone pulling on my resources, so I couldn't create, I couldn't transmute. It was great. I mean, you feel like shit at the time, but you work through it. I mean, that's my version of stoicism. Some people say that stoicism is to not feel, but you definitely feel. It's like, you can't avoid that. It's a biological component of your body and mental state. You're going to feel. The chemicals are there. You can't drain your brain of the chemicals. Dopamine, cortisol, that kind of shit. I do remember human biology from high school, but I don't remember it very well. So it's that weird memory trait where I just don't have it. PTS or is it ASD? Who knows? Trauma response. Huge chunks of shit just missing. It's like corrupted data files, and I'm going, I should remember that, but I don't. All I remember is horrible experiences. The core memories are a bit fucked up at this point. They need a thorough cleanse. I'm going to defrag my cookies. How are you going to do that? I don't know. I love computer metaphors though. Scares the children. What is all about? It's just crazy. So, you don't sit in self-pitying. It feels gross to me. It feels gluggy as an energy. There's no point doing it. It's well and good because I don't actually have predisposition for depression because I've got autism. I don't really go into depth for most feelings, like particularly those that I don't quite I'm not able to put a feeling to the word, if that makes sense. Like, you think of most emotions, you can sit there and say I'm happy, and you think, oh, okay, I know that word means that feeling, and you can feel it on the inside. When I think of things like depression, I think, oh, you're just sad. I mean, I've gone through some fucked up experiences. I've been diagnosed as having depression for a while there, and I'm sitting there going, I don't know if I felt depression, I just felt bad. But there's, the psych sitting there going, it's like, no, actually, you've got heavy set depression, so you're crying, your body's dying, all this kind of shit. And I'm going, are you sure we can't just fix this with cake and some M&Ms or something? It could be more fixable than we assume, right? It's like, and I was a born optimist despite my parents' interaction. I like to see the lighter side of things, and a lot of the weird shit that people get hooked on and dragged down by is actually quite silly in hindsight because it doesn't mean anything. And if you're, somewhat of an existentialist, maybe even a nihilist, it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, the human ego puts us at the center of everything. It says, I am the center of the universe. Everything is first person. Everything that is happening to me is a direct result of me existing in general. Of course, someone would attack me. And if I don't cope with that, or if I feel like I've been targeted, everyone else will attack me. This isn't fucking Inception, mate. You're not in an alternate reality where everybody's just knows that you're in the anomaly and they're going to turn on you. Shit happens in life. It frequently happens. That's part of adulting. And the more things you do, the more frequency of shit potentially going wrong will occur. You can't expect to do more things and not to take on a certain amount of damage. Think about all those sports stars that are doing these high activity, like NFL and all that kind of thing. I mean, they're going to face a lot more physical suffering and damage, potentially injury, because they've put themselves in a context and circumstances where there's going to be a high potential for it. I mean, compared to someone who sits on the couch and eats hamburgers all day, it's going to be there, isn't it? So the more you do, the higher chance you're going to get fucked over. It's no good sitting there saying, oh, they're picking on me, when you go into an NFL match and get a broken leg or something. It's like, no, they're not picking on you. They're doing what they're designed to do. This is the rules. This is the game. Accidents happen. You put yourself in a context and situation where these events could occur. Now, you could try and minimize those things. You could keep yourself away from assholes that like to fuck you around. You could create boundaries with your family members if they're toxic as mine. You could change jobs if you feel it's unsatisfactory, if it's causing too much stress and, essentially brain damage long term, because it does restructure your brain, stress. Chemicals are horrible, I think. I don't know. There is more science to that. Go and look for the data studies. Don't just rely on me. I've got a psych degree, but I'm not all there. Anyway, and I've got ASD. So, you can change your circumstances if you don't like it. I mean, what does the Buddhists say? With our thoughts we create the world. It's fucking change it. Don't sit there and whine about it. I cannot stand whiners. I cannot. I mean, bearing in mind I do work with kids, and a large majority of them just sit there and whine, but they're young and they don't know any better. They don't have the control or capacity to change anything around them because they're dependent on their parents and the adults that are supposedly leading the way. Whether we're leading the way shittily, I don't know. I'm looking at the previous generation going, I did not sign up for this. Not that you ever do as a kid, really, do you? You kind of just exist and then try and make the most of what you've got around you. Like, the fuck is this? These people are insane. And I have to sit with this. Like, growing up for me, I don't know what the rest of my siblings were like, but for growing up for me, it was a lot of killing time till I'm illegally allowed to leave. You are going to cause a fucking accident. You fucking idiot. having said that, she's out of my hair. Off you go into the bush. I don't know what the fuck you fuckers do. These people are idiots. I don't like driving through these people. But yeah, a lot of my growing up, because it was faced with like a horrible circumstances, the poverty cycle mixed with abuse, physical abuse, psychological, emotional, all that kind of stuff that comes with berserker parents. If you listen to that podcast I did right at the start of the Green List, you'll see what kind of parents I had. If you listen to the PTS podcast, you'll see what the result of my parents was. What came out of there, plus all the other shit that happened. So you're susceptible to certain conditions. These are the cards you're dealt. Yes, they can be shit, but what do you do with them? You don't sit there and whine about, I didn't get the right cards, I didn't get, money, fame, and power straight off the bat. I wasn't born into privilege. Everybody hates me. It's like, you keep whining, everyone will hate you. I mean, they're talking about Debbie Downers. It's like, you gotta make moves, man. You gotta do something with your life that is more constructive than just whining. It's a considerable waste of time and energy. If you take all that time and energy wasted on sitting and feeling sorry for yourself and turned it into something that actually gives you a sense of self-worth and value, then you're probably gonna feel better about yourself. Unless you're one of those people that are never happy. Like some people, you can give them fucking $1 million and they'll still be pissed off at you for not giving $1.5 million. They're assholes. I don't know when they're never happy. I think that's an internal thing. Yeah. Maybe those ones are the ones that need to be medicated. I don't know. Maybe it's a chemical imbalance. There's a lot of shit to be healed, I think. I don't know. But, some people are just never happy. Like, you can give them everything and they're still gonna be me. So you want to avoid those fuckers. They're just not very optimistic or anything. Some people are like born pessimists as well. I think there is a chemical imbalance in those. It's like, it's not healthy. Something wrong with it. And I say that in a very umbrella term. It's like, something wrong with that one. Because it could be anything. We've all got mental disorders. Anyone who says they have not got mental disorders, I can tell you now for a fact you are full of shit. Everyone's got something going on. They're just not diagnosed, or they haven't recognized the symptoms, or it hasn't affected them adversely yet. We've all got something. No one is immune to anything. It's ridiculous to assume it's like, I'm fine, I had a good childhood, I don't all this. I mean, you think about like rich kids. I mean, coming from a poverty background, it's like for us, the rich kids had everything. They got everything served on a platter. Their parents are like not hitting them or shouting them or anything. They had the best schools, their best toys, the best everything, right? Because they've got that position of privilege. Compared to us, it was not great. But at the same time, in their psyche, they're sitting there going, my parents didn't love me, there was no emotional connection maybe, or they've never known any kind of resilience because they've never had to fight for anything that they wanted. It was just given to them. So if anything does go wrong, they're really at a disposition to fail or feel like absolute shit with a sense of maybe self-sabotage coming out of that. Maybe they're just not happy with what they're given. Maybe they're never going to be happy with what they're given despite being given everything, which is why they turn to very expensive drugs and stuff to alleviate the stress of that. So everybody's got some mental issue going on. No one's immune. The only one, we only tend to really recognize the people that are living in the poverty sphere because there's so many of them. We sit there and go, looking at like homeless people and stuff, they've got the worst mental issues because not only have they got the predisposition to have a fucked up lifestyle, like they came from circumstances usually that were pretty fucked up. And then it gets worse as they progress. So maybe they'll take on doing drugs, or maybe they'll, get raped on the streets, or they'll starve to death, or get sick, or develop cancer, or something like that. There's always extra stories that go on top of these already pre-established fucked up scenarios. And then you got someone in suburbia sitting there going, I'm not happy. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you got a roof over your head, you got food on your table. There's a lack of gratitude as well. I find also with people with the victim mentality, it's like you can't see what you've got and how awesome it is. No, I'm not happy. It's like, well, be not happy somewhere else. I've got time for this. There was also, even growing up in poverty, you develop a sense of gratitude. Because you're always in a constant state of losing. You will always lose your resources. Someone will nick them, you'll break them, you'll have to borrow, or you'll have to give to someone else, or something like that. There's always a state of losing things. You never really get attached to anything because at some point you're either going to break or you're going to fuck up or you're going to lose it. which promotes the lack of emotional connection with others as well. Or maybe it might band you together a bit stronger if you've got that communal sense of family. Like maybe you come from a family which is a strong emotional family, like you're battling together sort of thing. But if you came from my kind of a family, we're just hanging around to leave. Ooh. That was a nice bike. Ooh. Pretty. But you know, if you just, it's different as well, because everyone's coming from different lifestyles and viewpoints. You can't just assume everybody's like normal. There is no normal. It never was. You could say that it's like, I wouldn't normative, I don't know, but there's no normal. It's one of those fake labels that people like to apply that just disregards anyone, and it just promotes othering. I mean, if you want to go into, okay, you need to stop. This guy was just rolling forward at a red light. I'm like, you gonna cram into someone, dude? Calm down. Yeah. But there's no normal, there's no perfect, no one is perfect. I wouldn't even know what perfection looks like, quite frankly. It's such an abstract concept. I mean, they say like Jesus was perfect. I'm sitting there going, first of all, he was flipping tables in someone else's building, so he's probably not invited to that beer garden again, you know? Wait a minute, that was the synagogue. Yeah, but are you supposed to promote violence in a place that's holy? I don't know. You know? Isn't it against his own principles? I don't know. So no one is perfect, really, is it? Everyone, like even in like Buddhist theory, all these Buddhist monks that came through and did all these wonderful things, that learned enlightenment, they went through some horrible experiences in order to attain enlightenment. It's crazy to assume that perfection exists. So while you're sitting there feeling sorry, that was a strong wind. So while you're feeling sorry for yourself, even if you've got like a perfectionist streak because you can't get everything absolutely right, which is what I got, but I had that shit beaten into me as a child. You got to give yourself some forgiveness that you're not going to get it right, because there is no real absolute version of right and perfect. I was fuming. Half of my battle coming out of my marriage was because I couldn't get the marriage right, because I chose the wrong person. To be honest, I'd chosen shit ingredients to make a cake, and I'll tell you what, no one wants to eat shit cakes. It doesn't bake well. My God. But you know, you got to show some self-forgiveness in that sense. I mean, I wonder if with the victim mentality, half of it might be battling your ego, or in regards not just to looking for extra attention from people, but also from self-forgiveness, feeling that you fucked up further and more. Because I know with my kids, like we've got at-risk kids at the moment. There's always at-risk kids where I work. These are ones that tend to be the behavior issue ones, or the bullies, or the ones that generally the class don't like because they just act like dickholes. These are at-risk kids. There's a lot of different versions of at-risk kids, but these are at-risk to fail kids, to be honest. And they'll start the lesson and they'll be fantastic, and you're sitting there thinking, oh great, so you're going to have a good day today, that's wonderful, I love that. But then the slightest little hair of something goes wrong, like they lose their pencil or something like that, or I don't know, maybe they rip their paper, something small and stupid, and they'll over exaggerate how this goes, and then it'll snowball into by the end of the lesson they're banging someone's head on the table because everything just, you know, turned against them. And it's not only just that one experience, they're already preconditioned through, you know, multiple experience to feel like, if I can't get this absolutely right the first time with this fucking pencil which I just fucking lost, I'm now going to react and everything's going to be destroyed because fuck it. And we will go through that. I did a bit of fuck it when I did my exit out of my wonderful marriage. I scorched earth policy the fuck out of that. But I think it was rightly done. I think it was the right decision. The amount I put in. What was it my mum used to say? I brought you into this world, I can take you out. I bought this marriage on myself. I can burn it if I want. It's my party and I can burn it if I want to. Yeah, my parents are weird. Anyway, where's that nurturing mother figure? I don't know. It came from people I worked with, rather than my biological, seemingly biological. I don't know if they're my parents. I don't look like them. I could be the fluke though. I look like my grandma, but ginger. So, It's a weird anomaly of genetics. We could look at genetic grids if you want, but I don't think it would make much sense at this point. Heavily caffeinated and dodging morons with lorries. Yeah, so no, people tend to just snowball into these horrible things. Like, some people enjoy the attention it gives. Some people can't help but feel like the world is ending because they fucked one small thing up, like losing a pencil. The thing is to be able to pull yourself out of it and not just sit and wallow in it. Most people look at the shit that I've gone through, like the series of events. Like, it wasn't just one or two. It was like, oh, I just got divorced. It was a case of separated, divorced, business failed, went into 10 grand in debt. 2 of my grandparents died, homeless, trying to get myself out of debt, working full time. You know, and my uni failed as well. I was doing a doctorate in uni. But at the same time, everything, that was within a span of like 1 or 2 years. For the dead people, it was like in a span of months where my life just collapsed. Most people would look at that and go, that's a series of fucked up events in a very short time frame. Are you okay? And most people, I think the natural reaction would be to go, I might be getting picked on at this point. It's pretty fucked up. There's a lot of... the odds of this all occurring within an 18-month span is pretty weird. But you know, you don't sit there and give up. You stomp on, you go for a yump, you do all these kinds of extra things. You take on the gym, you work on your nutrition, you work on yourself. You think, how can I reconstruct myself to make this scenario A, never happen again? Maybe, I don't know if I'm lucky. Or, you know, rework it to be something that I actually want to do now that I don't have other people telling me who I am and what I need to do. It's ridiculous to sit and wallow for me. I don't think I'm built for it. Some people can. It drives me nuts. So I don't get it. But then again, I did have the mum that said, don't feel sorry for yourself, stop crying. What was it they used to say? Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. And they did. They fucking did. It was crazy. I want to change lane. Anyway, and that doesn't work with ASD as well. Because, you know, supposed normative people that are not ASD will go, well, this is a shit scenario. If you give me something to cry about, I'm just going to get upset further and stuff like that. But at the same time, you give someone with ASD rules and they'll go, okay. You know, for the most part, sometimes you rebel. But if you say, stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about, they tend to. Or if you say, don't do drugs, they tend to not do drugs. Like, well, you said not to, so I won't. It makes sense, you said it's okay, so I won't. You know, it's we're big on the rule. Ooh, Jesus, mate. Fucking Land Cruisers, eh? Fuck you, guy. Ooh, they took my bonnet off. I don't like driving through industrial areas. It seems strange. Anyway, we're all about the rules. So, you know, if my mum said, like, straight from the beginning, don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't sit in a wallow. We don't feel sorry for yourself. You get up and get on with it. And she had a very militaristic version of parenting. She was very hardcore, and it was pretty much hazing into adulthood. A lot of physical hazing, mental and psychological. There was no room for failure, so you carry on. You get the fuck up and you get on with it. Don't fuck around. You are piss farting your life away. And that was the mindset for like a 5-year-old. So it's like, get the fuck up and get on with it. It's like, yeah, but I'm sad and emotionally I need help. It's like, you don't fucking need help. Get up and get on with it. Fix it yourself. You're on your own. Figure it out. It's like, I still wet the bed. Figure it out. It's like, goddamn, woman. There was no room for softness because we were in circumstances that just didn't promote it. It would have been nice to have a fluffy mum figure. But she had to be basically my dad and my mom, and my dad was already a berserker. He was a berserker and he wasn't really supportive, like financially, in and out of work and all that kind of shit. So he was essentially another kid in the house, and he wasn't really parenting us so much as scaring us into compliance, and we just avoided him. Like when he would kick off, we'd go sit in the backyard in this old sort of rundown greenhouse, and just my younger sister and I, Pookie, would just sit in this greenhouse and just hide from him. So I don't want to get involved in that shit. I want nothing to do with that. And it was less fear in the end, and more just an annoyance that they're fucking there. It's like, why are you still here, still doing this stuff? So it's like my mum was taking that on, and she didn't have the room and space to give us the softness because she was already trying to carry the full load of the family and getting us, you know, off to school and all the extra bits and jobs, and caring for my dad, who was, I swear to God, BPD. He's bipolar or something fucking wrong with that one. Seriously, I mean, he's mellowed in his old age because he's like 68 now, but he's not there, man. So that strong male figure that protected us turned to my brother. My brother was the protector in the family, and he's a fucking good one, and it makes him a fucking good dad now. I have to say, I've watched him and going, oh my God. You know, you said, I'm so proud of you, despite what we came out of. He's doing really well. I'm stoked with him. And my older sister is a really good mom as well, despite what our mum is like. I don't tell her because she's a bit of a bitch, but you know. The girls were raised different from the boys. Joe was raised really well. My sister Laura was still a bitch when I knew her, and there's like a 5-year age gap between her and me, so or something like that. So there's a bit of distance there for intimacy. I get along compared to my younger sister. I get along with my younger sister more because it's only a 2-year age gap. We were dressed as twins for the most part of our growing up, because that's apparently a 90s parents thing. It's like, they're relatively the same age, dress them the same, give them everything the same. I don't want to do this. I want my own individual identity. I hate this shit. I'm the older one and I have to dress like this bitch. Like, bitch, I'm a trendsetter. This fucker's just shadowing me. It's annoying. No, but yeah. But we're still close now. I'm closer with my younger sister Pookie than I am with my older one, who went off and just did the whole mum thing. And my younger sister went off to go to the UK and just, you know, lived her life traveling parts of Europe and stuff like that. I'm going, you bitch, you took the life I wanted. But I got married, so yeah. But, you know, none of them took on the mindset that they were the victim in this scenario. They looked at what the circumstances were and they said, well, this is fucked up. I'm not going to replicate this. I'm either going to do my own spin on it or just avoid it altogether. And my older sister did her own spin on my mum, the version of my mum she got. My brother, again, did his own version. He's a very soft, caring, big bear of a man. He's beautiful. My older sister is very much a good mum. She's soft and caring. She looks after her kids and does the whole housewife thing. I think she's gone back into childcare at this point, looking after someone else's kids, but I think she does it part-time. But she developed the skills from somewhere. I don't know where she got it from. I got mine from my EA. My sister just avoided the whole situation altogether and said fuck this and yeasted over to Europe. So there are ways around this. You don't sit there and feel sorry for yourself and let your life spiral. You get on with a different version, reconstruct as you think it should be, and move on, motherfucker. I mean, stop feeling sorry for yourself. We got stuff to do, times are wasting, and you're fucking around with your thumb up your ass feeling sorry for yourself. It doesn't work. It feels very not compassionate, doesn't it? It's like, why? That's that victim mentality kicking in again. Stop thinking that way. Why don't you feel sorry for me? You're such a bitch. It's like, I would rather be a bitch and actually going somewhere with my life than sitting on my ass feeling sorry for someone who's not willing to change or grow in any kind of fucking way. You need to adapt. Even the Canadian Army's got the fucking adapt, overcome, and improvise shit going on. And they're lovely people. You should go with their ideas. I can't imagine one army that sits there and has the victim mentality in Latin on their fucking shield. It's like, we came, they heard us, we cried. What's that in Latin? I don't know. Non-invictus. Something like that. I don't know. I don't speak Latin. But, you know, you fight forward. You don't fuck around. Just get on with it. You piss farting around. Another bike. Ooh. Seen a lot of choppers today. I'm excited. I love choppers. Actually, choppers come second to the ride on. What do they call them? Just the cruisers. I like the cruisers. Vintage ones. I can't stand these people that just feel sorry for me. It feels like some people like feed off it, even if it's like negative energy. You say like any press is good press, and when it comes to celebrities and paparazzi and shit, it's like any attention is good attention, even if it's negative attention, which is what we're seeing with like Meghan Markle and stuff like that right now. She's getting a shitload of bad attention, but she's like, it's good because it's me, and I'm going, you are insane. I thought the whole point of being a celebrity was for a positive image, and you know, work towards social change for the better and serving other people and looking after others. But she's like, I don't care, it's attention and it's directed at me. I'm going, what the fuck is wrong with you? People think you're insane. And it's not just her, it's a whole bunch of people like Trump and Epstein got the worst fucking attention, really. I doubt sitting in his jail cell before he got strangled that he felt sorry for him. I don't know. I think he's more of a psychopath than anything, realistically, looking at what he was willing to do and commit. But at the same time, some people will sit there and say, I need all this attention because it gives me value to my identity, and I will sit and feel sorry for myself until someone comes and wipes my nose and ass and makes me feel better about myself. And I just don't have that. I will do it with kids. I will not do it grown-ass adults. There is no room, time, and space for it. We're too busy looking after the babies, dude, or getting on with our fucking day in our life. I don't know if that's a grown-up trait so much as a woman trait of a certain age where we just cannot suffer your fucking bullshit. So get on with it. But man flu. No, fuck it. Get up. I've got shit to do. Oh, I wish I had the luxury of fucking man flu. I really do. I feel sorry for myself. This is not a huge event where you can feel sorry for yourself. You have a sniffle. Get up. But again, that could be biased towards the circumstances and the context I was raised in, because my mum was the weight bearer in that relationship. It was a matriarchy. Women were the workers. But it would have been better to have a more evenly keeled fucking weight system there, because my dad just did fuck all. And my mum carried the load and then took it out on the kids, which is not great, but it was what she was working with at the time. It's a bit shitty considering we're the product of it. So, but at the same time, she's like, don't you dare fucking feel sorry for yourself, even though I'm abusing you. Don't you dare feel sorry for yourself. And you don't, because you're sitting there looking for the life lessons in it as well. I was like, I came from a fucked up background, but I tell you what, I learned some very fucking important survival skills. And people are like, you shouldn't be in your survival mode all the time. It's like, bitch, I am where I am today because I embraced that shit. You had a bad life, you should feel sorry. I don't. I don't. I'm going, fuck, bitch, I am a fucking badass compared to the rest of you fucking millennials. And the Gen Z that came after, I don't even know what the alphas are going to look like, because they're just feeling sorry for themselves all the time. It's like, dude. No, we don't. Get up. Stop being silly. I mean, can you imagine a grown-ass adult like having a mild tantrum? Because I've seen them on the YouTube, I've seen them in America, people at airports having fucking full bodily tantrums because they can't get their way. Now, as a person with autism, fuck you, that doesn't happen. That's not an autistic trait. We might get a meltdown, but we tend to internalize it or go quiet. We don't sit there and go spazzing out. That's just embarrassing. That's someone saying, I've got a disorder which I'm going to use as a shield or an umbrella to draw attention to myself, and I'm going to act however the fuck I want. It's like, no. You don't get to act however the fuck you want unless you're low functioning autism. They've got the loophole. That's like a physiological side of things, but ooh, you're gonna die, you mother. I tell you what, it's my old area. I'm working currently in my old areas to live in, and I swear to God, there's a gene pool here of some very lowly educated people, and I'm surprised they survive, because they ain't using their brain. Low socio status, shit access to education opportunities. It does tend to breed dumb people, unfortunately. There are some flukes who tend to get out, but if you're like, all the smart ones leave the area and all the dumb ones are left, and then they interbreed with the other dumb ones, they make uber dumb ones, it's like reverse eugenics. Why is your 5-year-old in the road? You fucking idiot, get off the phone. Oh, you should not be breeding. You should not be breeding at all. Oh my God, he's got 3 of them, they're all under 5. Oh my God. No. What are they going to be like as adults? See, this is what I'm talking about. It's reverse eugenics. Are they going to survive to adulthood? Usually when you live in a poverty area, the low mortality rate is something to do with healthcare. But this time it's like, I don't think they're supposed to be breeding. Not that one. You know? He's not doing all the practices that are protective of the babies. Crazy. Anyway, I got exactly 3 minutes to sum this up. You can't see me because of the shade, but that's okay. Can you see me now? There you go. don't feel sorry for yourself. You can for a bit if it's something significant, like you've just lost a partner or your life is falling out the arse like I had. I think I grieved on and off for about a year. It comes back after in waves. Like, it comes and goes. It is not something you just sit in every time this shit happens. You work through it. You go, okay, I'm feeling this, but I know I still have to get that done, so I'm going to feel this while I do it. One of the perks of being female is you can multitask. Also, I assume, I think guys can do it too, they just won't let on. They're just like, why would I complicate things? It's like, because it's useful. But at the same time, you know, stoicism is pushing through the emotions, the negative emotions, for example. Because everybody wants to feel happy while they're doing stuff, and that's not a version of stoicism, apparently. But feeling the negative ones like anger and depression and stuff like that, and these shit circumstances, which are perfectly natural result. You can absolutely feel that way about shit circumstances going down. That's your right as a human being. It's completely unavoidable. I mean, who gets happy about being punched in the face unless you fight for a living and for higher wages? You know, it's like, it hurts, but I'm getting paid. It's like, that's the direct result. But at the same time, it's like, don't sit and wallow in self-pity, because it's just not going to help you in the long term. It will delay your growth. It will delay everything, like getting yourself out of that. It might snowball into worse effects where you just spiral, and you might take on drugs, you might just ruin your family, you might ruin your marriage, whatever you've got left after this shit experiences. Sorry, I'm seeing extra things. Could get absolutely worse if you just decide to fuck it and collapse. You know, we push forward. So I'm hoping you guys have a fantastic Thursday. I'm gonna stop it there because I got to go on morning duty, which is paroling the year 6 area, so they don't, you know, shank each other. I hope you have a fantastic Thursday, and I'll hopefully see you. I think I've got one more podcast. No, I don't actually. It's gonna have to wait till Monday. Yes. Anyway, I'll do one more podcast on. I actually got a ton more to go, but yeah, another one on Monday. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. If I don't get to do another one after this, okay.